Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your host, Jay, and you're watching another live episode of our Men's Night right here in our studios from Inside Out. And as you guys can see in the title of the description, we're talking about a very heinous and very upsetting situation that took place in New York, of all places. And we're going to have all the details about that and why it occurred and all that right here tonight. So again, with the type of content we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, I have to say this verbally, and also, as you guys seen in the disclaimer, viewer discretion is advised for tonight's show. Pretty graphic stuff. But we're going to talk about it anyways, so let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year from all of us here in Fion. And thank you guys so much for being here. I do very much appreciate it. And as always, let's go ahead and introduce our co-host, Tammy, to the show. Welcome to the show, Tammy. How you doing? Happy New Year.
I'm doing good, thank you. Happy New Year to you and everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you all guys again. I missed you guys. I hope you guys had a good New Year and holidays and Christmas and all that. But anyways, thank you, Tammy, for being here, and thanks for being a part of this show, talking about something that I believe is going to be very heartbreaking for me to even discuss tonight, as it probably will you two as well. This is a hard one.
Yeah, it's hard when you hear about these stories and the family members come to you and ask you for help.
Yeah.
It's been very challenging for me at times, but to absolutely see it with your own eyes, it is absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to pause the video. I cried. I was shaking. I was angry. I was in every fiber in me.
Yeah, well,
was in rage.
And if this helps any for you and what you went through on that video when you watched it, I was right there with you. I had to pause it for a second and just hit the the pause button and say OMG. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And it broke my heart because, again, I don't care. For the record, I don't care what this guy was in there for. I don't care about his charges. Some other people might or whatnot, but me, I mean, this is a beating that should never have happened or taken place. Tammy, what's up, Texas Mom?
I intend to, at some point, address people that think that we have the right somehow to unalive people or serve some kind of our own justice on others.
Welcome in, Texas Mom.
That is just a terrible, terrible ideology to begin with. I understand the feelings of anger and a victim's mentality. I do understand that. But what these men, I don't even want to call them men, what these monsters did. I'm going to call
them. Hey, Chaz, thank you so much for being here. I see you. Thank you, brother, for being a part of the show. Go ahead, Tammy.
I don't know if I can say the M word, but they are M's. Ers. What they did, anybody else would be already in jail right now. And they would be trying to find an attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And they would be trying to figure out a way to get bail when they wouldn't be allowed to get bail. If 14 individuals on the street did what these racist, and I'm going to call it what it is, it's a hate crime.
I don't believe it. Oh, absolutely.
I am calling out to the FBI in this United States of America. I am calling out to Trump.
Yeah,
when he hits office, I am asking him to please have this case specifically looked into for hate crimes.
Hey, Vicky.
This is not the first time these officers have done
this. Oh, I agree.
They were charged in 2020 accused of the very same stuff.
Yeah. Well, and again, some of this stuff's going to be graphic, guys. So if there's anybody under the age of 18 that is in here, again, viewer discretion advised. I can't tell you not to watch it, but I got to at least give the disclaimer out there verbally and show it to you in the intro because this is pretty bad. Chaz, my friend that's on X right now, he said this, the lawsuit was filed Wednesday. So here's some updated information. Chaz, thank you very much for doing this. The lawsuit was filed Wednesday in federal court in Manhattan by the family of 30-year-old Samuel Harrell, I think, or Harrell. It alleges that the beat up squad repeatedly punched and kicked Harrell during a confrontation this year at the Fishkill Correctional Facility. Can you guys believe that? There's some updated information. Again, Thank you. All credit, Chaz, for that. Thank you very much for putting that up. Appreciate it.
So another inmate. So, okay, guys, let me tell you this beat up squad. What happened in this incident, and I want to tell anybody, you may have I'm giving you a trigger warning. It's terrible. They literally turned their cameras on standby. I mean, on accident, because they were turning their body cams off, and they didn't, and it got recorded. Yeah. The audio is not there, so we don't know how many times this inmate was called God knows what. But I can tell you he was kicked in his genitals.
Oh, yeah. In the crotch.
Had sock stuff down his throat. Yep. They were
It's bad. It's bad.
It's really bad, guys. So I want to warn you, please make sure there's no children in the room. You don't want anybody that might get upset by this to see this video.
Yeah. So again, viewer discussion is advised, guys. I have to make sure you guys understand that. But anyways, as you guys know, we're going to go ahead and get into the topic now. Again, this is bad. This should never have happened. Tammy and I are on the same page when it comes to this was definitely, without question, I believe, a hate crime. And there's race involved in this, just a slew of things. And you're going to see it tonight. Of course, there's a lot of questions floating around. What made them do this?
There was also a nurse that witnessed this too, Jay. I don't know if you were aware.
Yeah.
There was a nurse on top of the 14. There was a nurse that actually witnessed this and did nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well, and again, I want you guys to understand that there's a lot of people standing by and not doing nothing about it. This went on thinking they were trying to cover it up, but their cameras were on. So it's like, oops. As you can see in the thumbnail, oops. But no oops. There's no excuse. And we got Orphan Annie in here. I just wanted to, say hi to Orphan. Thank you so much for being in here. Hope you're doing good and hope you had a good new year. Again, everybody is in here. Again, Bert said this is New York State. Yes, New York. And Tim Man said this, there is no reason for violence against those in custody. Absolutely. But here's the crappy end of the stick, guys, before we get into the data. He was handcuffed. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
He had no defense.
Right.
He couldn't even defend himself.
Right. Keep that in mind as we go along with the data tonight and let you guys know that this guy had his hands, as you can see here, I'm trying to show you, handcuffed behind his back. So obviously he couldn't even defend himself even if he had to or tried or wanted to. So yeah, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into the data. We kind of have it in order. Again, there's some video content. You guys have probably seen it, but I need to bring awareness to it anyways, no matter how many times it's been put out there. But these people that did this heinous crime to this individual, they all should have unaliving charges. I don't know if I can say I would say murder charges. And leave it at that. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the share screen real quick, guys. I got to get the settings set up here, as you guys know how this works. And we're going to go ahead and show you the first thing, and then Tammy's going to help us along with that too as well. Here it is. This is the first thing that I want you guys to pay attention. I hate to do these type of podcasts. I hate to do these things this way, but this stuff's got to get out there, even though, yes, news media and all that has picked it up. But again, it doesn't matter how many times it gets picked up. It needs to be aware. And look at the still frame of this CO using his boot or his foot to kick this guy while he's handcuffed. And this is a medical room, But I'm going to go ahead and play it, and you guys be the judge, and we'll come back in the studio and talk about what you just seen. Here it is. And all credit goes to, again, I believe this is ABC. Let me see. Yep, ABC News 7 there in New York. Here it is. Come on.
Governor Hochul has hired a new leader at that prison where an inmate was beaten to death earlier this month. The move comes days after that video of Robert Brooks's death at the hands of corrections officers was made public by the state attorney general's office.
Boom.
This is all part of the investigation that could ultimately lead to criminal charges. Hochul visited the Marcy Correctional Facility near Utica yesterday and announced new actions, including adding $400 million in funding for body-worn cameras across all jails. You know, Brooke.
So we'll come back into the studio. I want your guys' input real quick on that. Tammy, go ahead. Tell me what you think, what you saw there.
Well, they blurred it out from the original video.
I know.
But they were all punching him. They were kicking him. His face was bloodied. His eyes were beaten in, his nose, his mouth. I mean, they were pummeling him like back in the 60s and 70s in Mississippi, burning crap. I mean, they were in his manhood. They were in his face. Yeah. They were hitting him in his upper torso, his bottom torso. Yeah. They were kicking him. It was a mob-style attack.
Yeah, and the bad news is, guys,
on a defenseless man.
And the bad news is, guys, this guy did not make it from his beating. He died.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah. They were tossing him around like a rag doll. And
they had him by his neck, actually, at one time where his neck was like, I don't know if you could do the motion, Jay, but if you put your hand right up under your chin and you waddle your head
like this. I mean,
that's what his head was doing, and his body was limp.
He was already. I think he might have been already passed out.
That was at the point where I really lost it.
Yeah. Trey Stone, welcome in, Trey. Thank you so much for being here. Destiny, welcome in. Destiny, if I didn't say hi to you, and Happy New Year to you and your family. She said this, didn't even show any sign of aggression, in my opinion, for them to treat him that way. That was only that portion of that video, Destiny. I don't know if you've seen the whole thing or not. There's a longer version of this, and I think we have it tonight. But nonetheless, guys, it's just just absolutely uncalled for, clear across the board. Again, I don't care what started it, what made them have so much anger, what his charges are, why he's in there in the first place. Again, obviously you're in jail and prison to do your time. Notice I said time, right? But evidently you can't even do that nowadays without letting this happen. So he actually got a death sentence without having a death sentence. Yeah. Absolutely. But we're going to go ahead and do more data here now on the screen. But let me say these comments real quick. Tin Man said this. I'm guessing they claimed he came in that way and blamed the other prisoners for it before the video came out. I wouldn't be surprised, but thank God for the body cams.
They didn't even get a chance. It came out so fast that somebody leaked it.
That's probably what they were going to do, but like I said, thanks to the body cams, they can't even use that excuse. But Orphan Annie said this real quick. And thank you guys so much for being here. Did you all hear there is a secret tunnel in the CEO's house? ? But sure, not sure if it's rumor, but my friend shared a video. There's the video link there, guys. All right. I'll have to go back and check it out, Orphan. Tammy or whoever in the chat, can you
guys... lost you.
Otherwise, I might lose it after the show's over. All right. With that, let's go ahead and get into the other portions of the data tonight. Vicky said this. I used to think that when I went to bed at night and not worried about my two sons, I were now than I was on the street. Yeah, because it's very bad in there, guys. Make no mistake about it. Prison and jails are not fun. Do what you can to stay out. Destiny said, not telling how they were treating him before the recording in that room. They were probably why he went to the ER in the first place. Again, we don't know the backstory on this, but nonetheless, no excuse. They beat the crap out of him, and there should be no reason at all for it. Orphan said, what was he in prison for? I don't know, Orphan. Great question. Texas Mom said,
he was in prison for the same thing He was in prison for unaliving someone.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Tammy, for that. Texas Mom said, Vicky, I can't imagine. Oh, yeah. Timman said, I heard he was an SO. Those guys are far worse than any SOs. So guys in the video are terrorists.
He was in prison for unaliving somebody.
Yeah. So
that was his charge.
Okay. So he was in prison, not for any SO charge or child crimes. He was in there for unaliving somebody. Let's leave it at that. All right. And Texas Mom said, I sent it to you. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the share screen now and get the rest of the data for tonight's podcast here. Again, viewer discretion is advised, guys. Did you want to do this one, Tammy?
Sure, I can. This is from the Times Union, and we appreciate them having this article out here for us to go off of.
Yes, thank you.
So this happened on December 19th in Marcy, New York, at the Marcy Correctional State Prison. And so the state attorney general's office, citing a potential conflict of interest, has recused itself from the criminal investigation into the alleged beating death of Robert L. Brooks.
Imagine that.
At Marcy Correctional Facility by multiple correction officers. The office has asked the Onondaga, I know how to say that, I'm sorry guys, County District Attorney William J. Fitzpatrick to take over the case as a special prosecutor. Marcy State Prison is in neighboring Oneida County, but the Attorney General's office said it filed court papers Thursday requesting that the case be handled by Fitzpatrick's office, which they noted is well resourced to handle this complex and large investigation. Fitzpatrick has been with the Onondaga District Attorney's Office for 45 years and was sworn into his first term as District Attorney in 1992. The decision by the Attorney General's Office was based on its ongoing defending civil lawsuits previously filed against 4 of the officers. They actually represented 4 of the officers.
Yeah, imagine that.
That are involved in this December 9th beating of Brooks, who was pronounced dead several hours after the violent incident. 4 of the correction officers under investigation in the Robert Brooks matter are currently defendants in other matters and are being represented by lawyers in the Office of the Attorney General. Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement, while we are confident in the firewall set up between the Division of State Counsel and the Office of Special Investigation, even the possibility or appearance of a conflict could tie up a potential prosecution in lengthy legal challenges or get a potential prosecution outright dismissed. As she did in releasing videos of the beating of Brooks on December 27th, James made her announcement through a videotaped speech. She has not held a news conference or made herself available for questions from reporters about the case during the past month. James said her office would hand over all its records in the case to Fitzpatrick's office immediately, and that it has spoken with the attorney for Brooks's family to explain their decision. It is critically important that justice is served, James said. This decision ensures that it will be. Fitzpatrick's office issued a statement Thursday saying he would not comment pending any action by a grand jury. James said that her office will not represent the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision nor the agency's employees in connection with the criminal investigation, which involves the state police. It's unclear, however, if the Attorney General's office will represent the Corrections Department in any civil lawsuit that may be filed on behalf of Brooks' estate. The FBI and U.S. Justice Department, which has Civil Rights Division that handles criminal cases involving law enforcement misconduct, including instances of excessive force, are also reviewing the case. So I'll just put it this way, guys.
I'm going to come back to the studio.
That whole I could go on and on with this, but I really don't want to. in whole, because they're representing those guys. And I may not be able to get it in tonight between everything. I have a screenshot of all the officers' names. I would like to put them out there.
Yeah.
And I would like to damn sure that everybody that's watching this, make sure that you go on all your social media and you raise awareness. Every single one of these men needs to be put in prison. They are a threat not only to other inmates in there and in doing their job, they're threats to their own profession, because there are good COs out there. Not a lot of them, but there are. And then they're also a threat to society. Anybody that would do something like this in there, under that power, what do they do behind closed doors?
Yeah. And again, see, that's why I was pushing when I first started doing this type of advocacy work. I was pushing for body cams, and it looks like in that jail/prison, they actually finally got body cams in there. So I think that's great and absolutely awesome. But their body cams is what's going to bury them now. And that's the reason why I wanted them in jails. Now you can see why.
Yeah, because without the body cams, this would have been pushed under the rug. Nobody had ever known. The family would have got a phone call, and they would have lied, and they would have covered it up.
I agree. Well, they would have had the other cameras that are on the walls in the jail record it, but as they say, and has been proven time and time again, that their videos are grainy and out of focus and not good for today's technology, which is weird. You would think they would update. They got the money. You would think they would update their camera system or their security system.
They'd have nobody to work for them.
Right. Oh, I get it. But what I'm getting at, there's always an excuse with D.O.C. as a whole. Never fails. And you never get the video content. But again, like I said, thank God for the body cams, because they pretty much cooked themselves. Bert said this: even he was guilty of a crime that no one will beaten while locked up. Yeah, I get it. And he shouldn't have. That's not how you treat our locked up loved ones. That's not how you treat our humans. So, I get it, and everybody's right on the button with this, guys. Thank you guys so much. And an orphan said this: who turned them in? Where did I see that at? Tammy, you have the answer to that question. I think somebody picked it up and it went viral. I'm not sure exactly who did what.
Somebody saw it that didn't like what they
and
saw.
Turned it in.
They anonymously.
I can't remember where I saw it or whatnot, but I thank God whoever did turn it in, because again, we'd be in the dark on this.
God turned them in. God.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
If you ask me, and Tanya said that to me today when we were talking about it, and that made me. It really hit home for me that God is the one that turned them in.
I like that. I believe it. Absolutely.
Okay, I found it. Can I read it real quick?
No, the floor is yours, Tammy. Fire away.
The officers that committed these crimes, this murder against this black gentleman, our brother in Christ, their names are Sergeant Michael Mashaw, Sergeant Glenn Trombley, Officers Matthew Gallagher, Nicholas Anzalone, Nicholas Kiefer, David Kingsley, Robert Kessler, Michael Fisher, Christopher Walrath, Michael Along, Shaz Scoff, David Walters, and Kyle Dashnaw.
Yep.
They were all responsible for this man's life.
Yeah.
That they decided to take because he was black.
Correct. And so, yeah, this definitely has hate and everything else all over it. Absolutely. So we're definitely going to, as you guys know, we're going to definitely bring more awareness to this. Now, again, don't get me wrong, guys. It's already being put out there. This has gone viral. Massive amount of people are talking about this. And yes, the family is aware of this. This is absolutely just downright dirty. And these officers, I guess, have been fired from the last time I checked. The rumor is they've been fired. But come on, fired? They should be in prison. But anyways, let's go ahead and do one more piece of data for you guys to look at and kind of digest, if you will. And then we're going to come back into the chat, back into the studios, and open it up for everybody to express your feelings and whatnot, what you guys feel about this and all of that. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I got to set the settings back up. Every time I come out of this, I always got to start over. It's fun, isn't it? Anyways, here's this. This is coming from, what is it? NBC Channel 5 there. And again, all credit goes to them. It says here, I'll even highlight so you guys can see it better. Here it is. Family of a man killed by New York State corrections officers speak out following protest. And I want you guys to really pay attention to this. Again, all credit goes to new on NBC 5. Here it is.
Several staff members at an upstate New York prison are under investigation after an inmate died following use of force. The State Department of Corrections says the incident happened December 9th at the Marcy Correctional Facility. The inmate was taken to a local hospital where they later died. The identity of the inmate has not yet been released. An investigation by the state's Office of Special Investigations is now underway, and all staff members involved have been placed on administrative leave.
So that's a pretty short video, guys. Again, there's some more information for you if you haven't been keeping tabs on it. And again, thank you, Tammy, for sharing and sending that stuff to me. I do appreciate it. And this is how we hopefully try to bring change, because this kind of crap, this ain't going to end. We'll end up having another video, something like this happening again. This will continue if we the people don't stand up and fight this stuff. It's absolutely bull crap. But anyways, Chaz said this. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Read Chaz's. Go ahead.
Chaz said this. 2023 definition in federal civil rights lawsuit warned state officials of prison guard beat up squad that killed Brooks. So see, this must be something that even, not to sound like I'm being ignorant here, it must be something new I didn't know about. So there's a thing called a beat up squad.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that, and I feel like an idiot not knowing this. But anyways, go ahead, Tammy. Thank you, Chaz.
So the reason this triggered me so bad is, as most of you know that know me, my husband is Black. Mm-hmm. We've known each other our whole lives since he was 12 years old and I was 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And when he was incarcerated, when he was first arrested in county, he is almost 6'4", mm-hmm. roughly between 275 and 300 pounds. He's a very, very massive, big guy. He did not have shoes on that fit him, and they were taking him in ankle shackles and waist shackles to the courthouse. So as they were in a transport area that does not have cameras, they decided that they would take and they broke his hand.
Gosh.
And they never treated his broken hand. He got an ace bandage. I have pictures of his broken hand. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you right now, this video triggered me because that could have very well been my husband, because where he was for all of his court stuff is a very racist area. It's very well known for its racism. They are known for unaliving people. They are known for accosting women in the county. In the female side, there was a woman that was RA mm-hmm. there. So every institution has people with this mindset, and they all group together, unfortunately.
Right.
But God is watching, and I have to keep the faith on that. And I think, like I said, 2024 was the year of truth. 2025 is the year of retribution.
Absolutely. I like the way that I like the way that kind of rolls off your tongue. You know what I'm saying? I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah. I think all of these crooked judges, these crooked attorneys,
hey,
DAs,
hey, Ashley, welcome in.
All of it. I think it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm sending you the actual video, so if you want to play, it's up to you.
Oh, yeah, send it to my email. That way I can just do it here.
I'm doing it right now.
No, while you're doing that, Ashleen is in here from, what is this? Facebook. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm streaming on other places, guys, and some of these chats you're not going to be able to see because they're coming from different areas. I'm streaming on 4 different areas. Anyways, welcome in, Ashleen. Thank you so much for being here. And she said, hi, guys. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, Ashleen, if you heard about this, but again, being that you tuned in late, at least I think you turned in late, but nonetheless, even if you did, not a big deal. I just want to let you know we're talking about this gentleman here, which will show you what that is in just a second if I can. Where did it go now? Oh my Lord!
I'm sending it to you right now. You get the full video.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Where it's just the video.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anyways, we're talking about a guy that just died in New York jail or prison for being getting beat up by the COs, and it was all caught on the body cams. Thank God, right? But anyways, I'm going to be looking for a video. Just bear with me for a second, guys. I got to come out of my main screen here and go back to my thing. Why is it not coming up? I should have had it by now. There it goes. There it is. I have to do.
This is what I don't get, and that's why I put that on there about,
Yeah, no, I got you.
Beat inmate in restraints. Why? When will they get hate crimes charges? Why is it taking them so long?
Right. No, I hear you. Just bear with me for a second. I'm trying to get all this taken care of here. But anyways,
we're good. Let me see if I can get into the chat so I can.
Yeah, no, I got it. I've got to go. I just got to do the share screen again. Ashleen said this. I have followed this case. It's terrible, and it's so like what happened in Texas. Yeah, it happens. Don't get me wrong, guys. It does. It happens in all different kinds of jails and prisons and whatnot. But again, there's absolutely no excuse for it to even happen at all. Period. And again, I don't care what he's in there for. So, but I get it. You guys are absolutely right. Well, what was it? What was that, Tammy?
I said it shouldn't happen at all, ever.
I
should never, ever. I don't care what their crime is. I mean, I care that they commit crimes, that people do commit crimes. I'm not saying that. We are not the person. Their punishment is being incarcerated.
Sure.
They don't have the freedom to get up and just go to the fridge and grab a soda pop or, a pickle out of a jar or whatever they want to do. They don't have the freedom when they get angry or emotional to go talk to a therapist.
Correct.
They don't have the freedom when they're sick and their tooth is rotting out of their mouth to go to medical.
Right. Oh, I know.
It's not like that. They'll make them wait months sometimes. Right. And people die in there from no medical care, no mental health. Mm-hmm. So what we may think and perceive out in the public of what prison is like and jail is like is so different than it really is.
Right. Absolutely.
And until we start seeing this and seeing the inhumanity in our system and how broken it is.
Yes, correct.
Obviously, it's not working. We have more prisons than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I know. But no, you're correct, Tammy. And again, the video that you guys are going to see here was put on by CBC News. All credit goes to them. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's the video. This is, I guess, more depth video than what we saw earlier in the beginning of the show. So bear with me. Here it is.
Like, and if
commercials.
Sites on something, you better believe it's happening.
Back here in North America, an investigation has been launched into a fatal beating by correctional officers at a prison in New York. Newly released body camera footage shows several officers hitting and kicking inmate Robert Brooke, who was handcuffed prior to his death. A warning for you, some details of this story may be disturbing. CBC's Albert Della Talla joins us now. Albert, give us the latest.
Mark, that body cam footage, it shows the final moments of Robert Brooks' life at that Marcy Correctional Facility in upstate New York on December 9th. We do have some of that video to show you, but we do pause it before it gets even more violent. So in that video, you see correctional officers there appearing to place a handcuffed Brooks on a medical examination table after he was transferred from another facility that day. The footage doesn't appear to show him doing anything to provoke that attack. So one officer in that video was seen wearing boots and appears to kick Brooks. Another officer then appears to yank him up by the neck and drops him on the table. Officers then remove his shirt and pants as he lies motionless and bloodied on his back there. Brooks was pronounced dead at a hospital the morning after that assault. Final result of the autopsy, they are pending, but preliminary findings show what they call concern for asphyxia due to compression of the neck as the cause of death. They also say the death was due to actions of another. New York Attorney General Letitia James, she called the action seen in that video shocking and disturbing.
I do not take lightly the release of this video, especially in the middle of the holiday season. But as Attorney General, I release these videos because I have a responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones, and all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability.
Brooks had been serving a 12-year sentence after pleading guilty to first-degree assault in 2017, and that was for the stabbing of his former girlfriend. That ongoing investigation into Brooks' death could result in charges for any or all of the 14 prison staff believed to be involved.
And Albert, according to some critics, we're hearing this isn't it, right? They say this is part of a larger pattern.
Indeed. So we heard from one of those critics, the New York Civil Liberties Union. They said this is not an isolated incident. And they went on to say that rather it highlights a culture of violence and a lack of accountability for wrongdoing by corrections officers. And they went on to say that puts the lives of incarcerated New Yorkers at risk. I will report on that prison released last year by a New York prison watchdog. It said that 70% of the inmates interviewed, they said that there is racial bias among staff members there. In regard to this recent incident, the union representing New York prison workers, it said that the actions seen in that video are incomprehensible, as they put it, and they said that it is not reflective of the work that the vast majority of their membership does every day.
Okay, that's a CBC's Albert De La Talla reporting for us. Thank you, Albert.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Tammy?
I just want to make it clear the assault that he had, Tin Man, was DV related, and I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
None of it had to do with any kind of crimes against children or anything like that. Even though what he did and pled to was horrific itself. But like I said, who cares what his crimes were at this point? Yeah. His family doesn't want to hear it either because, listen, that was 14 people. And Kyle, whatever his name is, he was the nurse. Yeah. Listen, nobody deserves to go out like that. We're not the creator. We can't go in and judge people and put our hands on people like that. But that's disgusting.
And what gets me is that, believe it or not just with these guys, and again, I don't condone what happened here. There's a lot of people in society like to play God and be judge and executioner. I'm sorry, you don't get that right. But
that's the first thing that makes me angry is that every time we see something happen to an inmate, and you and I have heard it a million times, have we not? In a lot of the same stories you and I follow and we comment on together and have been through for the last year.
I know.
How many times have you heard, well, they must have deserved it, or they did such and such, or, oh, well, they're an inmate who, you know,
or how about this one? Or Tammy, how about this one? Well, he shouldn't have went to jail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe he shouldn't have went to prison.
By the mouths of people that go out and overdose on drugs, and by the people that sit and commit crimes every day. Those
Yeah.
people, or those the one you're talking about? The ones that drink and drive? The ones
It's that
talk
concept,
shit,
though.
those
Right.
hypocrites? Those?
Right.
Yeah.
It's that concept coming from people that never been in the system, don't know how the whole thing works, and they have a right to fire off their mouth and say, "Well, they shouldn't have gone to jail." Well, I mean, it shoulda, woulda, coulda.
That is the stupidest comment. You know why it's stupid? Let me tell you why I think when people say, well, they shouldn't have went to jail. Let me say this.
Or shouldn't have broke the
People
law.
get arrested that are not guilty, that are sitting in jail because they're too poor to get an attorney. So they have to wait for their day in court. So they have not even been to court yet to be found guilty of a crime. They're sitting in jail waiting their court appearance. So screw off, kick rocks. If you don't know, then you don't know. If you're not educated enough to know how the system works, don't have an opinion that is damaging to the people that do.
Well, get this. I have some information I want to share with you guys real quick before we're getting close to the top of the hour. But again, I'm going to keep going until you guys get tired of hearing me. Just kidding. Anyways, what I have here, I don't have it on the screen, but I have it here on my phone. I'm going to read off a few things here that was sent, or somebody did a video on this and put the information out, which I believe is crucial for tonight's podcast. This is the amount of money that these COs that you saw in the video bring in annually, meaning yearly. Marcy Correctional Facility, I believe this is again, I'm horrible with names, guys. Farina Anthony, you said the names. Anyways, one of the COs that did this horrific event brings in $80,000 a year. Real talk. That was his take home annually, $80,000.
And I made $32,000 this year, and I don't get bonuses.
Do the math. And then the next one down below, 75, with another CO. So give or take $75,000 to $80,000 a year for that type of activity. Tammy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if they made 2 pennies or 2 nickels and had to rub them together. My point is, you are in a position of authority and power over people. Your job is not to abuse them. Your job is, it's not okay for you to say, oh, there's another black guy, and they don't call them black guys. They call them the other name. Because as we heard from our friend that came on the show as a guest, in Virginia, they're lighting themselves on fire because they're being abused.
Imagine that.
They would rather put themselves out of misery and get out of there that way than be unalive like this man, beaten to death.
Yeah.
Because they're called the N-word all the time.
Yeah, imagine that.
Trust me. They told my husband he was a grand jury in another city turned down the indictment. They said there's no evidence in this case. We are not indicting him. He was let go, and the detective in his case looked at him directly and said, quote, unquote, we're going to take it over to Denton County because they know how to handle ends like you.
Right. Wow.
And that's where they broke his hand.
Yeah.
In Denton County. It's racist. All the judges are white.
All of it is.
Everybody's white.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I think a lot of this is totally uncalled for. It should never happen in the first place, as you guys know. And I'm sick and tired of having to, if I'm just, going about my day, whatever it is, and I come across this video thanks to our media and social media and all that, I would never have known anything about this if it wasn't for those guys. But like I said, this has got to stop. So again, the question always arises, what's it going to take, folks, until we stop seeing this happening? What's it going to take? When is enough enough?
It'll be enough when we catch all of the people in power and open up their closets and expose all their dirty deeds. Because then nobody will have any faith in any sort of system, and it will collapse upon itself.
Well, either that, which I agree with you 100%. Either that, Tammy, or somebody will. It'll happen to somebody, like somebody that has a locked up loved one inside, and it happens to them, and then it starts affecting them. Then you'll start hearing them complain and bitch and moan and groan.
Yeah.
Wait till it happens to one of your loved ones, whether they're in jail or not. This type of stuff happens all the time. And you guys have heard me say over and over and over, prison and jails are not a 5-star hotel, and they're not ever going to be. This kind of stuff happens all the time, and there's not going to be any change. And again,
this is why rebellion happens. This is why wars happen. Wars start over stuff like this. People are going to get tired of their loved ones being unalive for stupidity. It's stupidity. This is stupidity. Yeah. This is nonsense. Yeah. It shouldn't even exist in 2025. This should have never, ever, ever, ever happened. We are not in Mississippi burning days anymore. Right. Well, or Alabama lynchings or Texas.
We're not in the Civil War anymore.
It's over.
Get over it.
But it's not over for them. And I say that, and I cannot stress enough to you. I have a biracial daughter. It is not over. We have to do what's right. We have to speak up. They can't.
Right. We as humans, we're raised to know what right and wrong is. We know what's right to do. And we have to do this the right way, guys. We can't just sit by and do nothing. The family, no matter money, don't get me wrong, guys. This is going to be huge when it comes to the lawsuit aspect of it. But I'm telling you guys, there's no amount of money that's ever going to bring them back. Okay?
No.
So
no, never. We don't even know if this man has kids.
I know. I mean,
it's so sad. I want to tell y'all about. Go ahead, Jay. I want to tell everybody about a judge in Texas.
Okay. No, go.
I'm trying to find his name so everybody can Google him.
Go ahead. So the floor is yours.
Oh, I'm looking for him. So you can talk.
Oh, sure. I see how you are.
You can read everybody's stuff. I'm just looking for it.
I'm just messing with you, Tammy. All right, just give me a second here. So this is where we stand in it, guys. It's never going to change, never going to go away until we, the people, stand up and do something about it. And we have, believe it or not, the power. Some of us, I've been told in some circumstances, believe it or not, people think that we don't have the power to do a lot of this, which is, obviously bullcrap. We do have the power to do this. But again, it's lack of experience, intimidation, scare tactic, fear mongering, just a laundry list of things, guys, that keep us from actually going up against this corruption. So I say this respectfully. If you want to, and you have the power to do this, you don't need to have a college education, if you will, to go up against this crap. All you got to do is to stand up to your lawmakers, politicians, governors, and talk to them in a civil manner, respectfully, because cussing them out with this emotion that we're dealing with tonight, what happened here, ain't going to do a bit of good. Be stern, be to the point, be concise, and get what you got to do done. Emails, phone calls, sometimes letters work, but whatever you decide to do, make sure you keep your evidence and a paper trail or hard copy of this stuff if it's emails and letters, because they'll come back and say, I never got it. Or something along those lines. Make sure you do your homework, guys. That's all I'm saying. Because we, the people, have the power. Believe you have the power, and quit making somebody else make you believe that you don't have the power. They're just blowing smoke up your butt. You have the power. Go do it. Okay? Like I said, when I chose to do this type of work, I don't need a college degree to do this type of work. You just got to be a little bit knowledgeable in this. High school grads, perfect. You just got to know your rights. Got to know you got to know what you're doing. Plus, you got to have respect when you go in front of these guys. You can't go in there cussing like a sailor. Trey Stone said this: "Ain't no senator's son. Ain't no senator's son." Yeah. Texas Mom said this: "Honestly, feel like it's a power struggle." Well, it is. It is absolutely. Texas Mom also said this: "Sadly, because it's so common, it is absolutely." Hey, Rose. Give credit to Rose. She's the one that came up with this storyline tonight. I thought I was going to do it anyways, but it was fitting. So thank you, Rose, for bringing this up in a personal email. I hope you're doing good, and Happy New Year, Rose. Thank you so much for being here. She says, "Hey, y'all." And Trey said, "Rose, hey." Yep, absolutely. She's in the house. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, so I'm putting it in there now. You guys check this out on TikTok. So this judge in Harris County, and this is what we need more of. He had somebody come in his courtroom. Prosecutor was there, and they were prosecuting him because he was going like 50 or 55 in a 45. The cop pulls him over, and the guy gets out of his car and he tries to talk to the cop.
Why does this sound familiar?
And because he's simply standing there talking to him, they got him for impeding an investigation. And the judge is like, "Are you kidding me? Impeding?" I sent it to you on TikTok. He says, "Impeding an investigation? What is there to investigate about a speeding ticket?" He goes, "I understand that he's black, but how is he impeding an investigation?" And he dismissed it. He basically, and the guy wanted to kind of try and defend himself. And the judge said, "Put your hand down. I understand what happened here. I understand you're black, and I understand what happened here. And you're winning. So just put your hand down." And he started going after the prosecutor and said, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow.
Remind you guys, all of you, all of us have worked and put money into this tax system. Yeah. Do you know how much that probably cost all of us for him to be in court over that stupidity?
Yeah. Well, not just that, but this case we're talking about tonight. Imagine how much tax money went out on this.
Qualified immunity. Let's get rid of it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
There you go, Jay.
Yep. Well, let me hit on that real quick, Tam. Thanks for bringing that up because it reminds me.
Yes, please.
No, thank you. Again, if you guys never heard of it, this is for the people that never heard of this before or what it is. Briefly and shortly, qualified immunity, basically what it is in a nutshell, is like an insurance policy for our federal government, or just our federal workers or employees, cops, CEOs, people of that nature. And what that does,
state, local, county, doesn't matter, federal, all of
what it does,
anybody that's in a government entity.
Correct, Tammy. Thank you. What it does is it protects them from us, me, you, Tammy, everybody in the chat. It keeps them from getting attacked personally or sued personally, so they won't lose their own personal stuff. So the taxpayers are stuck paying the mistake. And in this case, we got this guy's blood on our hands. And I don't feel right about it. I don't like the idea that I'm a taxpayer, Tam's a taxpayer, everybody in the chat's a taxpayer. So we pretty much paid for his death. Not on my watch. But again, there's nothing we can do about it until we get rid of qualified immunity. Tammy?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with changing the laws, guys. And the only way that's going to happen is if I and you and Jay and all of the people in our communities and all of the people with loved ones and all the loved ones that get out go speak. Another advocate went and spoke about the atrocities in the Georgia prisons. He spoke in front of the Senate this week.
Yeah, see?
We have to keep going. We got to keep pounding the pavement because if we don't quit, then they have to change it. If we don't shut up, they'll get tired of it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of like, I have a perfect example. When I was 18 years old, I really wanted to work at a place. And my aunt had worked there and they didn't like her. So they assumed I was like her because she liked to be a drama issue everywhere she went. So I kept going up there every day applying. Every day I got an application for 2 weeks. Then the director of the facility, it was on a military base, sat me down and said, "Why do you keep coming up here? You know that there's an issue." I said, "I am not her. I am me. And I stand on that I would be the best employee you ever had." And you know what? She said, "You know what? I'm going to give you a chance." And I worked there and I was one of the best employees I
imagine
had.
that. Yeah.
You know,
Bert, DV
listen,
stands for
if we
domestic
don't
violence,
quit,
Bert. Sorry, Tammy. Bert, DV stands for domestic violence. Go ahead, Tammy.
yeah, we've already shot ourselves in the foot today as far as any kind of commission on this show with our words. So yeah, domestic violence, Bert, and it was horrible what he did. It was horrible.
Again, I don't condone it, but he shouldn't have been unalived for it.
No, that wasn't their place to unalive him. If
that's the court,
the peers the peers that sentenced him, the court, the judge, the jury, whatever he had, the plea he took, if the state did not sentence him to that, and even if they had of, these men still would not have had the right to do what they did tonight or that night. That was not their place to do that to him.
And you can see the chat, and I got a lot of love and respect for Orphan Annie for saying this, and I appreciate it. I don't know if it was directly to me, but hey, it is what it is. But she said this in the chat. Thank you, Orphan, for this message. I respect it nonetheless. She said, "You are smart, but I do think an education would help you get respect because, unfortunately, our background matters, and people will want to know your credentials." I totally agree. I'm just saying, and I lost my point. I think what I was trying to say is that, certain things from an educational standpoint shouldn't stop you from going into the Capitol or your lawmakers' offices or your governor's office and have a sit-down talk with them. I mean, yeah, it would help. Don't get me wrong. It does. It does help. Absolutely.
If you cannot write a letter for yourself, or you cannot write an email, or you have trouble, now with technology, we do have the spell check. We do have AI.
Yep, I agree.
And we have law stuff on AI. So I want everybody to feel empowered that you all can get up there and let your voice be heard. If it's nothing more than, I want qualified immunity to go away because it doesn't serve me or the people that live in my community, I want it voted down. I want it out.
Absolutely. Countless other things too. Absolutely. Thank you, Tammy, for that. I appreciate it. And Orphan Annie gave me a blue heart. Absolutely. Thank you, Orphan.
I love you, Orphan.
Love and respect you, Orphan.
I love everybody.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Rose said this, speak out as we are here. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, we don't speak, who will? Bert said, agree, Rose. Absolutely. And then our co-host Tammy said this, just want to say, I know I sound angry. I am sickened by this as a human being, should have never happened. Absolutely, Tammy, spot the heck on. Thank you for that truth there. Again, thumbs up from Orphan. And Rose said, truthful, Tam, 100. I think she meant the 100%, but she had $100. Hey, I can, whatever works. I'm just kidding, guys.
We'll take
100% and $100. I'm kidding. All right. Well, man, what an eventful show. Tammy, do you have anything you want to say at the tail end of this? We're at the top of the hour. What's your closing arguments, my friend?
All I can say, guys, is please, like I plead every time at the end of most of our podcasts.
Yeah, I agree.
Share on your social media. Speak your truth. Don't be afraid. We are a mighty, mighty, mighty voice if we can all join together. the little bickering and the stupidity, put that aside, and let's join together and fight for these laws to be changed, for people to be able to rehabilitate,
Absolutely.
get
That's
educated, rehabilitated, and healed mentally, to come back out into society and be productive and teach others not to offend in the first place.
Thank you, Rose.
I don't know how a better way to put it. We've got to change the laws. We've got to change this broken system. It needs to be rebuilt the right way.
Right. Orphan Andy said, Daryl, my husband, said hi. Tell your husband I said hi. And if he's watching, welcome in. Thanks for being here. And hope you had a good New Year's, Orphan. And I hope everything's okay in your neck of the woods. Reach out to me if you ever need to. We're here. You got my email, I hope. Anyways, for the ones that don't have my email, if you want to reach out to me for whatever the reason is, again, it's voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Once again, voices from inside out. What did I say? What did I just do? So I can say it once, but I can't say it twice for some reason. That's weird to me. I messed that up, didn't I?
It's all right. We're live for a reason. Come on now.
Little
laugh.
There it is on the ticker.
Little snafu in
There
there.
it is.
It's all
Voices from InsideOut@gmail.com. I should know that by now. Anyways, there it is, guys. And thank you guys so much for being in here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. These things are going to continue, unfortunately. That's the bad news. But hopefully we can get in here, all of you, everybody watching around this country can get off and head out there to your capital and bring awareness to this and make this stop. Otherwise, it's going to continue. It's definitely going to continue. Real quick before we go, Rose said this: I've been sharing widely in Australia and with friends overseas. Thank you, Rose. I very much appreciate all your support that you do over there. Absolutely. Orphan said, best wishes, everyone. Absolutely. 2025 is definitely going to be all of our years. At least I know it's definitely going to be mine. This is the year for, like Tammy said, the 2024 was the year of truth. But what was the thing you said, Tammy?
Retribution.
Yeah, that's it. Tim said this: I love you all. I will not let any of our little beefs get in the way of this mission. Oh, absolutely. Why would it? Bert said, can I say that must raise a stink to change all laws? I agree, guys. I absolutely agree. Rose said this: you're all good, kind-hearted people. Yep. We're all made mistakes. Yeah. And we shouldn't have to live with it for the rest of our lives. Right, Rose? That's being human. Absolutely. People make mistakes. Our co-host Tammy said, good night. Good fight for all rights. Absolutely. And Bert said, so I have to email you, Jay? No, you don't have to email me, but you can always text me. You got my number. You're a funny little guy. Bert said, good night. Yeah, absolutely. And an Orphan said, he goes by Air Force. Have you seen in your chat? Oh, Air Force. Okay, yeah, I remember him. Okay, good. I'm glad he's here nonetheless. And Rose said, oh, retribution, love it. Yeah, absolutely. It should be a hashtag. Thanks, guys. All right, Tammy. Well, with that being said, thank you, Tammy, for you too as well, co-host, for you helping me with the show and giving me all of this information. That I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully you're welcome, and hopefully next Wednesday we'll have our veteran in here. He is a veteran.
Yeah, listen to this, guys. Pay attention to this.
He is an admin and an advocate for veterans. His brother is incarcerated here in Texas, and he's been abused very badly by Texas. And hopefully he will be able to come with us and come in and give us a story and background on things he's doing. Yeah. And he's in Arkansas.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that one because that one's going to be an interesting one. Because again, because more truth, if you will, is going to come out, and he's got the whole entire floor. You might not even hear my voice or Tammy's.
That's very
because he's got something to say, and he's welcome to do so. Absolutely.
He's earned his right. Yeah, for sure. And this case may impact his brother's case. It may impact other people's case, my husband's and anybody else that's been injured in the system now. This may open up a whole can of worms for a lot of
Yep,
things.
and with that, including the Mendez brothers case too, as well. Something good comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Stone said, "2025, live free." Absolutely. Texas mom,
That's right.
Texas mom said, "Oh wow, yep." And then Rose said, "Stay strong, all, and speak out about injustice." Absolutely. Do my best, anyways. It is. Texas mom said, "Is it Steven? Steven? Steven?"
No, he's in the I don't want to give them cred, but he's in the veterans of that other group that thinks that they're the only advocacy group in Texas, but he's in the veterans one, and he's one of the admins. His name is Jim.
Thank you, Texas
I
mom.
borrowed the post with permission that I posted in our group at the in our Texas prisons group in yours on Facebook. His thing about the nurses where you could report them for abuse.
Yes.
Jim is his name.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
I'm going to get him connected with us, so I want him to join our group because he'd be a great voice for and resource for anybody that's veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Well, guys, it's been an eventful show. I will keep you guys updated if we get any new information regarding this case, this situation, what happens next. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be some updates coming down the road, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. Trey Stone sent, oops, I hit the wrong one. Trey Stone said this. There's that. That's, I believe, his email, if I'm not mistaken. So there's his email.
Yes.
Get a hold of him if you can. Trey, you got my email. Email me so we can stay collabing with each other. We got some things in the works, I think, anyways. And then Texas mom said yes. And then she also said, oh, okay. And then I'm excited. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, if you guys ever decide to start a podcast or whatever, I'm on board. I support you. I'll be here. I'll be that voice for you guys too, if you want me to.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't we include?
I don't know. I thought you guys didn't like me.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding.
For a while. How about you?
I'm kidding. It was a joke. All right. All right, guys. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. Again, we'll keep you guys updated on any new information that comes down the road with this. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. And from all of us here, from Fion, from Tammy, and from my family, Happy New Year. And God bless you all. We'll see you this coming Wednesday. With that said, I'm your host, Jay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.